Hi, welcome. Happy card class day. This is your April card class, and these are the cards we'll be making today. Hi, I'm Dawn with DDcreates Crafts, and you either have your April card kits because you ordered them or you received them as my gift to you for placing an order with Stampin' Up! And with me. And for that, I thank you. I'm gonna turn you down. We're gonna get started with our card kits right away. So here we go, get ready. Turning you down and making sure, there we go. All right, so here's all our goodies. And you should have with your card kit, your base card. You should have a layered card that's half embossed. You should have a little strip of cardstock and some ribbon and some bling. Now, the stamp set I used is called Quiet Meadow. I did use the stamp set, this flower, and I also used the die cuts. The ribbon and your cardstock base is called Daffodil Delight. So I, for my flowers, am going to use the coordinating ink pad. Now, if you do not have the Quiet Meadow, you can use any flower or it doesn't even have to be a flower. You can use anything you want to stamp, and that's what we're going to do. Now, the other thing we're going to do is you need a piece of scrap paper or something to cover up the embossing, like a little mask, so we can stamp and it looks like half the flower or half your object is peeking out above our decoration once we add our strip. And you could put your strip, this might determine where you stamp, either on top of your embossing, smack in the middle, or more towards the top. Totally up to you. So I'm gonna cover mine up, and this is gonna be your step one. We are gonna do our stamping. So get some scrap paper, and I'm gonna a little bit leave an edge because it won't show. I'm gonna cover it up with my strip, and I find when I do masking, if I don't expose a teeny tiny bit of whatever I'm covering up, I get that white space in between my stamp and the next object. And you'll see all about this on my next video on YouTube, the DDcreates Crafts YouTube channel. I'm gonna do stamping, not a how-to, but I'm not gonna ruin your surprise and tell you what the stamping is all about. So I'm gonna experiment with my stamp and see if that is as dark or light as I want it. And it is. Let me put that right back there. If the ink you feel is too dark for your paper, for the pattern paper, the designer series, you can stamp off, which means you're gonna ink your ink pad, you're gonna stamp once, and then you're gonna stamp the second time without adding ink to your actual cardstock. I am not gonna do that with this particular, let me think, I think I'll go in the middle, you guys, and start there. Yep. All right, let me put my little thing back. You see how it makes a little space? And I think because it's embossing, but probably only fit 3 flowers. And I'm okay with that. Hey, move out of my way. Okay, so I've got my 3 flower halvesies. Put my stamp aside. And now I'm gonna put my ink away so I don't put my elbow or fingers into it. So now we've got our stamping, and the next step, your step 2, we're going to adhere the pattern paper, your designer series paper, smack down onto your layer with your embossing at the bottom and your stamping at the top. Now you can use the adhesive of your choice. You can use some glue, you can use some tape runner, whatever is your personal favorite. All right, I've got my glue, and I'm gonna determine how up. I think for me, I'm gonna go about there. I do want quite a bit of the stamping to show, so I'm just gonna cover up the rough edges, meaning where my stamping wasn't perfect. Here it is. All right, and that's stinking cute. To me. Okay, now the next thing, we're not going to adhere it to the base yet. We're going to attach our daffodil ribbon right on top. Now, based on your order, you would have received a full-size spool of the Daffodil Ribbon and a full-size package of the Bling that you got in your kits. You got full size. Excuse me, please, based on your orders. When you order 50 with me, 35, when you order 35, you get your kits. When you order 50 or more, you get the kits plus, make sure where I'm putting this, plus a spool, full size spool of ribbon. And then when you order 100 or more, you receive the ribbon and the Bling, all as my gift to you. Am I doing it this way? This way. I just added a glue dot on the base underneath my layer. I'm going to stretch this across and add another glue dot. Glue dots you see me using are from a Paper Pumpkin kit. Stampin' Up! Now has all kinds of kits, you guys, starting at $12, going up to like $23. The $12 kits don't involve stamping. There's no stamp. It's more like your bases, layers, and ephemera, which are just clusters and fun stuff to put onto your cards. All right, I'm liking the way that looks. So now what I want to do is tie a bow. How I did tie my bow, I don't always do this, but for this one I did. I'm gonna put, you should have a longer piece of your Daffodil Ribbon, and go ahead, put it underneath, and now we're gonna make I'm just gonna adhere it, so right over left. And I put it pretty close to the edge. Now my secret for success when I tie a bow is to turn it opposite me. And so I'm gonna make a little loop, wrap it around, tuck it through the hole. Hope I recognize which one is which. I see it, just my fingernails. Having trouble gripping it. Come on through, little guy. There you go. Okay, so now we've got our bow, but it's a little wonky, a little too long on one side, a little too short on the other. So now I'm going to lightly hold my center and pull and twist until I get the size bows I want. So let me come a little smaller, You want to over pull it small till you pull it and make it the size you want. And now I want to cut, not a banner cut for this, I'm just going to cut it at an angle. It just kind of disguises your raw edges. There I go. So lovely, lovely. Let's attach this, and this is going to be a horizontal card that opens like that. I'm going to turn this so I can put something on the inside. And then we're going to adhere this one flat. Let me put that back. And then add some Bling. So again, get your adhesive of choice, whether it be the glue or the tape runner. I did find if you're using wet adhesive, I needed or wanted a little extra on the embossing part. And I do put a little extra under my ribbon just to give it a nice hold. All right, let me get in here. And it's way off, which is like why I like my glue, is because now I can play with it a little bit and get it a little more even. All right, let me come back and make sure all my edges, especially the center, is adhered down. And we're going to add our Bling, and we're done with that guy. I think it's precious. I hope you guys like this one. I really enjoyed these cards. They just were so springy, fresh to me. I just thought they were the dearest. And I'm trying to pick up my little Bling, if you will. And you want to use odd numbers for your Bling. I tend to do 3. You can do 5. I'm looking where I want my Bling. I'm going to put it here and save that for the next card. All right, now you have your first card in your kit. Now you'll be able to make 2 of these cards. So this is your design number 1. So I'm going to remove this, and get out the supplies for our design 2, which is this card. And this is going to be a fun one too. So we've got our base. Looks like I need, does this open sideways? Yep. I need to use my score tool right there. Thought I was ready. All right, so we've got the score creased in half for your base card. And I'm gonna fold that, make sure my corners are matched, like so, and then come this way and just burnish the folded edges. And now we're ready to decorate. I can see we're gonna add our ribbon to some layers, so I'm gonna put my base aside. We have got the base yellow. You have got the designer series paper, so let's work with these two, and then we're gonna add our strip and then our ribbon. And then the fun part, which is the decorating. And I've got a little trick. You're probably wondering how I made those flowers. So that's part of your card class lesson today, is how to do that. And I just feel like it stretches the use of the punch because the little flowers are actually, they're not dies. It's called the medium daisy punch. And I just think it's adorable. Oh, you know why I got it? Because one, I like flowers, but two, if you've seen me use the ladybug punch and stamp set, the flower on the ladybug set, once you stamp it, this punch fits that. So I really liked that. All right, so I'm gonna adhere this down next. It's kind of the matching paper, and all I did was flip it over, just so you see the method to my madness. So I'm gonna add a little glue. I'm trying to milk my glue and get every drop out of it. All right, I might have to let it milk by itself. And we'll get the other one. Now these, I did a YouTube video. They're my little glue holders. It keeps them upside down so that the glue comes out a little more readily than just laying it on its side, especially. No, I did okay. So let's call all this step 1. I'm gonna move this out of the way so I don't grab it again. Step 1 is doing our base, and let's go ahead now and work on our ribbon. So, do I have a spare piece of ribbon? I do. Let me get a piece of glue dot. And I see, I did a little more towards the edge. If you want a little, hey, I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna put it, go ahead and add a couple little glue dots. Won't hurt a thing. If anything else, it'll adhere it all down better. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it up. So I want my ribbon about there. You guys know I love everything a little off center. It adds a little more interest. If you want it centered, do it centered. Centered is a little more traditional, and that there is nothing wrong with that and nothing wrong with the way I'm doing it. It's all personal preference. And you all are so creative that I trust anything that you do. All right, now our next step, we're gonna decorate the little label, and this is the Stitch So Sweetly label. 2 or 3 of you ordered this one while it was, because it's retiring, and it's just a fabulous, fabulous label. All right, so this I'm gonna put about here so I can see I need to cut off. I think I'm gonna have to, for me, cut off both ends. So let me see what I did there. Okay, I just took this and kind of cut it at an angle so it looked a little more intentional than just a straight line. And I think with this one, I'm gonna cut it off above that little flower there, or bud, whatever it is. So I'm cutting off about that much because I'm adding my own flowers. So this is your stem. I see a little spot right there that needs to be poked out from my die. So let's go ahead and glue or adhere this one down. I think you're gonna need glue for this particular guy because it's so delicate. Now, if you barely squeeze your glue, look, you can get it in the most intricate of spots if you barely squeeze your bottle and just get it where you want it. And I find too, when I'm adding glue, I don't need it everywhere. If the main part is glued down, the rest is gonna stay. It'll be fine. All right, so I'm gonna put that towards the bottom and about there. So that looks pretty as a picture. Now I'm gonna have you, I think I gave you too many daisies and no I didn't, I did okay. If I gave you an extra daisy, use it on another project, perfectly okay. Now with your daisies, in between petals, I want you to cut your daisy in half, just like that, because we're gonna glue them together a little at an angle to create our half daisy like this, almost like a bud, a daisy bud, if you will. All right, so I'm gonna add some glue to the center of the bottom daisy. I'm gonna adhere this on about like that. I want my little petals in the middle, much as possible, because one of them I'm gonna put at the top here. And then the second daisy, let's do this again. Same thing, same thing. Cut it in half between some petals. Glue on one side. Let me turn mine around. Flip it so the little petals are in between each other. Just makes it look a little fuller. And this one, let me see which side I did it on. I did it on this side. Add it to, I put it off this stem right here. It does not matter where you put it. It truly doesn't. But I want you to put it where you think is so cute. So that looks lovely. If you want to feel a little more secure, you can add just a touch of glue beneath, squeeze in there, just a hair of glue underneath a couple of the petals. And I would use the bottom petals instead of your top petals, just so still you have a little bit of, what would we call that? Some dimension. I try to use my nails because once my fingers get the glue on it, it does not want to come off. All right, I'm gonna add a little drop of glue right there. Okay, I'm feeling better, like it's pretty secure. Pretty secure. Now this guy, this pretty, we are actually gonna pop up with some dimensionals. So get out your dimensionals and let's add some to our project. All right, I've got 5. You use as many or as little as you want. This is just about popping it up and adding a little dimension, making it look stinking cute. Flip this over, bring my layer, and we're gonna line it up. Let me see, I think, yeah, I have it a little more towards the bottom even. I think I'm gonna bring it this way a little. I want a little bit of the purple showing on both sides, right here and here. And that's just personal preference, personal taste. It means nothing. And so this one's gonna open up and down, so I'm gonna adhere this down before we add our bling. I hope you enjoyed this particular April card, these 2 designs. They were fun for me, but I have to tell you, yellow is one of my favorite colors. I know it's not everybody's. I'm not gonna say their names out loud. But I will give you another true confession. Purple is my least favorite color. I tend to use it in the springtime, especially Easter and Mother's Day, because it's such a feminine color. And so many of my friends, my crafty friends and regular friends, non-crafty, they love purple. I'm like, what? All right, so let's add some bling to this one. Same yellow bling. I might have given you guys a glossy pearl. I can't remember to save my life, but I think once I put that down, it felt big, so I wanted to add some of the matching yellow bling. So let me bring this back in. Here's your 2 cards, both designs. Now what I'd love, because I'd love to see your cards, when you post your cards on social media and just use the hashtag DDcreatesCrafts. You put the whole name together with no space and do the hashtag. And I'd love to see the cards you made. You could put it on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and just use the hashtag, because I would love, love, love to see your cards. Quiet Meadow is the stamp set if you want to use the exact same stamps. And if you have stamps of your own or that you like as well, just use what you already have at home. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the May card kits. This is the first one. They're fun folds, and it opens this way. That's too cute. And then the second one, love the way I compliment my own cards. Some of the inside shows through, and it opens like this. Now, this stamp set is Jar of Flowers. You do not need this to make these cards. If you want yours to look just like mine, you will need them. And the other thing, but I will punch these out for you. This punch is precious. Now, I will share with you, both the stamp set and the punch are in the new catalog, and the Quiet Meadow from April is in the new catalog. So that's more important for me than you. I will punch out for you. I'm not allowed to stamp for you, but I will punch out the jars for you, and of course everything else. So again, you would use your own flowers, and these I fussy cut and put the dimensional underneath. So you could do that using your own stamp set for these particular cards. Now, order 35 or more with me, and you receive your 4 card kits. Order 50 or more, you get the spool, full-size spool of baker's twine that we used on both cards. And then you will also receive a full-size package of pearls with your baker's twine when you order 100 or more. So I think, because so many of you ordered in April to get, well, these card kits, I'll tell you what, if you order in April or May, before May 15th, and I'm not even looking, so I'll put it in print, I will give you the order for the May card kits. Usually it's, if you order in April, you get the more May card kits, but if you order in May, you can still have these, or wait and see, and I'll let you peek at the June cards and see if you want those. June are going to be masculine. I always do feminine in April in case you want to use these for Mother's Day. Any mom in your life, it could be your sister, it could be an aunt, a stepmom, it doesn't, your daughter a mom. So I try to do the flowers for Mother's Day, so I'm going to do more of a masculine card for May in case you want to give it to your husband, your son, your father, an uncle, anybody male for June. So I try to get us. I'm going to turn you up now. Don't get dizzy so I can say goodbye to you. I hope you had fun with the April card class. I thank you everybody that ordered to receive your card kit, and I thank you everybody that ordered the card kits. Hope you had a good time. Hashtag DDcreatesCrafts. I'd love to see your cards on social media. Okay, talk to you guys real soon, and I hope to see you on YouTube. Bye now.